The Newsday continues here on One News Now Business. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. The Philippine government raised $611.2 million at an auction of its second onshore retail dollar bonds or RBDs. Tenders at the rate-setting auction hit $636.2 million. That's slightly higher than the $636 million on offer at the Treasury's first RBD sale under President Bongbong Marcos. The amount raised is also higher than the minimum issue size of $200 million, but it fell below the almost $1.6 billion in the first RBD auction in 2021. The 5.5-year bonds fetch a coupon rate of 5.75%. The offer period for the dollar-denominated debt is from September 27 to October 6, while settlement is on October 11. The bonds will mature on April 11. The House of Representatives approves the 2024 budget on third and final reading. The House took about 57 days to finish deliberations on the 5.768 trillion peso budget proposed by the administration. This is nearly 10% higher than the 5.268 trillion peso budget in 2023. It was certified as urgent by President Bongbong Marcos, which allowed it to be passed in its second and third readings on the same day. Some 296 lawmakers voted in favor of the budget, while 3 opposition congressmen, all from the Makabayan bloc, voted against it. The biggest chunk will be provided to education, followed by infrastructure and agriculture.
We are confident that every centavo reflects the overarching targets to usher economic transformation towards inclusivity and sustainability. Tiwala ko na hindi lamang makatulong sa ipinasa nating budget para sa mapabuti at sa kalagayan ng mga Pilipino, susi rin ito para magtuloy-tuloy ang ating pagbangon tungo sa mas magandang kinabukasan.
Meanwhile, the House Appropriations Committee clarifies that realignments can still be done during the period of amendments which has opened last night. This means that even though Congress has approved the bill on final reading, it can still amend the proposal and reallocate funds. Recall that prior to the passage of the proposed 2024 national budget in the lower chamber, House leaders decided to remove or slash the confidential and intelligence funds from civilian agencies to those that deal with national security. House Appropriations Committee Chair Elizalde Co said agencies that will be affected by realignments include the Office of the Vice President and the Education Department, which are proposing a combined total of 650 million pesos in confidential funds. Proposed amendments are expected to be submitted tomorrow, September 29. The Senate and House have meanwhile ratified the Bicameral Conference Committee report of the proposed Public-Private Partnership Code after seesawing. The House first ratified the report after midnight. However, the lower chamber withdrew its approval after 5 p.m. after Bukidnon Representative Laarni Roque moved for a reconsideration without elaborating why. Several more congressmen were named as members of the committee, which ratified the report again late Wednesday. The Senate redesignated its representatives to the Bicameral Committee in the evening, only to ratify the report minutes later. The bill aims to boost private sector participation in state infrastructure projects by easing bottlenecks and challenges in the PPP process. The measure also aims to improve the framework for unsolicited project proposals. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The National Wages and Productivity Commission approves wage hikes in 3 regions effective October 16. In Cagayan Valley, there will be a 30 peso increase in the daily minimum wage. With that, the minimum wage of non-agriculture workers will climb to 450 pesos and 430 pesos for agriculture workers. Over in Central Luzon, the wage hike is at 40 pesos. This will bring the minimum wages of non-agri workers to 493 to 500 pesos. Agriculture workers will receive a salary of 454 to 470 pesos daily, while those at retail and service will get 475 to 489 pesos. Workers in Soxargen will be seeing a 35 peso increase in their minimum wage. That brings the total for non-agriculture workers in the region to 403 pesos, and for agriculture and retail and service workers to 382 pesos. The information, technology, and business process management sector are poised to achieve their revenue target by the end of this year. According to the IT and Business Process Association of the Philippines, or IBPAP, the industry is likely to generate $35.4 billion in revenue by the end of 2023. If this is realized, the sector will record an annual growth rate of 8.8%, surpassing the global industry growth rate of 7.7%. In terms of workforce size, the industry has also outperformed the global standard. Full-time employees in the sector has reached some 1.7 million, marking an 8.7% increase compared to the previous year. The Philippines is currently the second highest ranking among the world's top IT BPM players, behind India. Here to talk to us more about the growth projections for the IT BPO sector, we have with us on the show IBPAP President and CEO Jack Madrid. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Always good to be here, Diego.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Let's get right to it. How optimistic is your group that it will reach those growth targets this year? And what are the factors that are contributing to this?
You know, the projected figures for 2023 are basically, I would say a done deal, given the momentum that we've been able to sustain since the beginning of the year. So that would bring us to 23% of our 2028 target in terms of headcount, and in terms of revenue, 20% of our target of $59 billion US dollars. So what's significant here is our share of the Philippine GDP. If you recall, the target is, if we attain it, will be to become 8.9% of Philippine GDP.
Okay, sir. And of course, the question is, with the latest report also that India is number 1. Why are they still number 1? Is there a chance that we will exceed that?
Well, you know, it depends how you measure the ranking. They will always be number 1 if you look at number of jobs, by virtue of the fact that their population is 10 times more than us. And given that, they will always be higher in both headcount and revenue. But if you look at it from quality of customer experience, we can make a strong argument that the Philippines is the world capital for delivering customer experience. I like to say that most of the world prefers a Filipino to resolve their query and concerns.
That's right, sir. I guess that has something to do with our neutral accent and the quality of work we give them as compared to the pay that we receive. Anyway, sir, any other challenges, growth risks that you're looking at for this sector?
Well, you know, we have a window of opportunity in the next 5 years to further grow the share of the Philippines in IT BPM. I don't really view our industry as being, competing with India or with any other IT BPM location. But I see the opportunity as maximizing our market share.
Okay.
Given that only the Philippines and India have the demographic leverage and potential to, to really take advantage of the expected growth in offshoring business services to our 2 countries. So the biggest hurdle that we need to overcome is really to address the talent supply gap. And I say this because the Philippines does not have a demand problem.
Okay.
Um, the challenge we have is really talent supply, because there will be as many jobs as we can provide the talent for. And so what we need to do in the coming years is to take the task of upskilling and reskilling more urgently than ever before, because that will result in more jobs. And I say this, in the expected emergence and implementation of AI-enabled tools.
Yes.
We expect AI to make our agents be more efficient, be more productive, and be able to, provide even higher value-added work.
Let's talk. You were talking about more jobs. Let's look at this outside of Metro Manila. How's the expansion like? And what areas do you think are showing promise in terms of growth?
Countryside development will be an important factor to grow our industry. In fact, our roadmap 2028 projects that 54% of the 1.1 million jobs that we hope to generate will be outside Metro Manila. Now, this is good news because it will decongest Manila. It will reduce concentration risk in one city for our investors, which is important. And our investors and locators will also be able to take advantage of the unique talent pools that exist in our emerging cities and provinces, given the fact that, over the past few years, there is much better infrastructure, better, more reliable power supply, better roads, bridges, airports, even hotels. And these are the things that our investors and locators look for. I'm also very optimistic in the emerging cities and provinces because, it is the overall work environment seems more positive. It's less crowded. Our employees, have much shorter commuting times, which is a factor in addressing industry attrition.
A while ago, sir, you mentioned AI benefiting possibly the workforce. And recently, it's been on the headlines because it's being used now in the broadcast industry with AI anchors for a sports program. Now, being used in the IT sector, how do you think this will benefit it or not benefit the industry?
Well, I see the next few years as being more of an opportunity for AI-enabled platforms, and I say this because AI is a tool that will, allow our agents to have access to information and solutions much faster than ever before. And I think generative AI in particular has the strong potential to improve the overall performance of the average performing agents.
Okay.
And there have been several studies globally that prove this in our industry as well as in other industries as well. But it is early days for AI. But instead of fearing it, I think we should embrace it and address the importance of learning how to use AI tools instead of worrying about job disruption. Because AI is not going to go away. It is not a
Okay.
fad. And I think the sooner that we take it seriously, then it gives us that opportunity, especially for our industry, to take on higher value tasks and functions. This is something that we've always wanted for
Yes.
the IT BPM industry anyway. So let us take advantage of this opportunity.
Okay, and finally, sir, your long-term targets, other developments that you're eyeing in the sector in the long term?
Well, we are focused on adding 1.1 million more jobs. When we started on our roadmap journey, we were at slightly over 1.4. If we are able to achieve our target of 1.1, then the total number by the end of 2028 will be 2.5. So that is the goal. The revenues will follow, but that we estimate to be 59 billion US dollars by 2028. We will focus on that goal, but we also hope that the nature of the business services that we will be delivering will be higher in value. And I see the future as being bright, but that is a qualified answer because I think all the stakeholders of our industry should focus on the urgent need to upskill and reskill so that we are prepared for the jobs of the future.
Thank you very much, sir. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. But thank you for joining us, IBPAP President and CEO, Jack Madrid.
Thank you.
And those are the top business stories of the hour. I'm Jago Castro. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News. We throw you over again to the Senate, where committees on public order and dangerous drugs and on women and children are holding a hearing on the Socorro Bayanihan services.